Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
It's the fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise. It's the best time to trade in and trade up to a new Ford truck or SUV with the room to haul your payload or playload. Visit Lithia Ford of Boise, where Ford begins in Idaho.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Bronco Nation News Live from BroncoNationNews.com is presented by RowPaint.com, the official paint and coatings company of Boise State Athletics. All Bronco Nation news broadcasts come from the Western Collective Studios. Head down to Western Collective's locations in Garden City or downtown Boise to try some of their delicious beers, including the Horseshoe Golden Ale, the first beer to support an NIL collective. Now, here's four-time NSMA Idaho Sports Writer of the Year, BJ Rains, with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
How we doing, Bronco Nation? Happy Friday. Welcome on into Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com. A little bit of an earlier start today because I've got a flight to catch. So just an FYI, this show is going to end at about 9:30 sharp, and I'll be heading to the Boise airport, and we'll be heading to Eugene, Oregon. First stop into Sacramento, and then Eugene, and I am fired up to get started with our coverage from Eugene and Boise State, Oregon. Tomorrow night, 8 o'clock on Peacock. And if you don't have Peacock, you know where to go. Western Proper, the National Bar inside Western Proper, down there, Idaho Street, downtown Boise. You walk into Western Proper there and you turn right. The bar there on the right, Bronco Nation News will be hanging out. And we'll also have the Horseshoe Collective hanging out, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Tyler Shoemaker, our special guest, our game captain, alumni game captain, Tyler Shoemaker, he will be making a live appearance on the pregame show. So if you're going tomorrow night to Western Collective, Western Proper, Bar National there for the watch party, get there by 7:15, because at 7:15, that's when we'll be checking in live with Tyler Shoemaker there, and hopefully we can get some fans, cheering in the background, having some fun. So Nathaniel Wilder is watching on the bus. True Blue Travel, they are on their way. Good morning to the Pimp and to Nathaniel and Kip and Rodney and everybody on the bus. Shout out to True Blue Travel. Hope you guys have a safe drive. We will see you in Eugene. Yes, it is still a little smoky in Boise today. Not as bad as yesterday, but yes, it is a little smoky in Boise. Spencer Danielson even said yesterday, good thing it's actually worked out good. They've been on the road the first couple weeks. He's not sure they would have been able to play, but not quite as bad today. Boise State will have their final walkthrough this morning, and then they will jump on their charter plane, fly over to Eugene, and man, this is going to be a lot of fun. So my name is BJ Rains. I want to officially welcome you to BNN Live. We do Bronco Nation News Live every morning, every weekday morning, 9 a.m., talking Boise State football. Jay Tust is going to join me in just a minute or two. I wanted to start a little bit early, get all the intro videos and welcomes out of the way, so when Jay jumps in, we can get right to football. And as I said, only about a 30-minute show today because I got to get to the airport to fly to Eugene. Good morning, watching from the Naval Station, Mayport, Florida. Awesome. Thank you, Micah. Appreciate you for watching and checking in there. That is awesome. So we got Dallas checking in as well from Joe. Appreciate you watching in Dallas, Joe. We got Austin, Texas fans. You got Tom says there's a watch party at La Vaca Street Bar tomorrow night. So there you go. So we got folks checking in from all over the country. Mystery Man checking in from Twin Falls, Idaho. Looking forward to getting over there and at some point here real soon, and then passing through and going up for the basketball game in December. But I got some friends over there in Twin Falls. We love Twin Falls, Idaho. So thank you, Mystery Man, for checking in. Dayton says safe travels. Love the Capital 11 in the blue and orange. Yeah, Travis Hawks, David Gardner, our friends over at the blue and orange store, Capital 11, hooked me up with the blue and orange. Again, I tell you this, but it's the only blue and orange thing you'll get me to wear. It's a sponsored hat for Capital 11. So I will wear that today proudly and thank our sponsors, Capital 11 and Travis Hawks and the Blue and Orange store. Make sure you get out to the Blue and Orange store for all your gear. And by the way, the Blue and Orange store is our post-game show sponsor tomorrow. So it'll be the Blue and Orange store post-game show with Mike Sanford right after the game ends on Bronco Nation News YouTube. I'm going to check my phone, make sure Jay hasn't texted me yet. He should be jumping in soon. Hopefully, I'm going to let him know here. Let's see. It says jump on. So sent the link. Sorry about that. Jay's going to jump on here shortly. Let's see what we got here. So, yeah, the Blue and Orange store is our post-game show sponsor tomorrow. So get over there to the Blue and Orange store if you are looking to get some new gear for the season. I mentioned the watch party tomorrow. Our title sponsor, of course, is roepaint.com, ROE paint.com. All your painting needs. Our title sponsor. There would be no Bronco Nation News without roepaint.com. So support the sponsors, folks, and help keep these morning YouTube shows free of charge. Before we get into the Boise State talk, how about that game last night? The Kansas City Chiefs. Wow, what a game. The toe literally on the line. And for those of us in the Circa Millions contest that had the Chiefs minus 2.5 as our first pick of the season, scoring that touchdown there, and then it looked like they were going to go for 2, would have been a guaranteed loss for those of us on the Chiefs minus 2.5. So luckily the shoe size was one size too big. He was out of bounds. The final score is a 7-point game, and we are well on our way to the $1 million as we are 1-0 in the Circa Sports Million contest this week with 4 games to go the rest of the week. We got Pensacola, Florida chiming in. Appreciate you, Joshua, for watching. Randy in Oklahoma. How about that? Thank you for checking in from Oklahoma there. We got Planetary Prod on the way to Eugene. All right. Let's see here. Mystery Man, LOL. Hi, Mike. So I guess Joe knows who the Mystery Man is. All right. Let's see what we got here. Won't be at the game, but we'll be watching from the hotel on the Oregon coast. All right. You're going to be pretty close to it then there. Let's see what else we got here. Checking in from Orem, Utah. There you go, Kyle. Appreciate you for watching as well. Linda, the True Blue travel bus left this morning. Yes, it did. Bright and early, they are on their way to Eugene. That's going to be a lot of fun. No, I am not connecting through Seattle. Connecting on Southwest Airlines through Sacramento. Sacramento to Eugene. Nice direct route on Southwest. But on Sunday, bright and early, 5 a.m. flight on Sunday, I am connecting through Seattle on the way back on Delta. Someone's asking about Eugene bar and grill and pubs tonight, where the party's going to be at tonight in Eugene. Let me know. Tweet at me. Let me know where everyone's going to be at. I think there's a couple official Boise State events that I think I'm going to stop off at this evening, a couple of happy hours. Want to try to find a way to watch that Eagles Packers game tonight somewhere as well. But yeah, I'll be out and about tonight in Eugene. So let me know what's going on, where the parties are at. Send me an email or tweet at me, send me a DM. We'll try to see if we can connect with some folks. We got folks checking in from San Francisco. We got Melbourne, Florida checking in as well. Let's see what else we got. The band is on the way to Eugene. There you go. The Blue Thunder Marching Band heading over to the game. That's pretty cool. Cameron, appreciate you. Hello to everyone on the bus in the Blue Thunder Marching Band. So, yeah, that's pretty cool that they are heading over to the game, and now that will add to the atmosphere for sure. Let's see. Checking in from Santa Cruz, California. We are all over the map today. Appreciate you, Adam, for checking in from California. So you could have drove and done a driving show. I could have, but you never know with the signal. We're flying today. But let's see. Good morning from Montreal, Canada. So we're international here. We appreciate Justin for joining us from Canada, Fredericksburg, Texas. So, wow, we got folks chiming in from all over the United States, pumped up for this game tomorrow, and we appreciate you guys for that. Going to bring in our man, Jay Tust now, sports director over at KTVB. He is live in Eugene, made the drive yesterday so we can get the on-the-ground report from Eugene, Oregon. Jay Tust, how we doing?
I'm good, man. How are you? Boots are on the ground in Eugene, Oregon.
You got the Kekala Kaniho 90 proof hat there. I like it. I like that,
man. And
yeah,
plus, it works for me because I am 90 proof on the golf course.
We had him on the Riley and Ridge show, and him and Riley Smith both wore those and talked about him. And I would take breaking 90 any day. So yeah, that's a nice looking a sharp hat there. But Rob, watching from Las Vegas, I mean, we literally got people all over the United States. We appreciate all you guys for watching. Jay, I know you've been there for the Olympic trials and everything already, or the USA trials, but how are things in Eugene, Oregon?
You know what? This actually kind of caught me by surprise. I'm not going to lie, BJ. It's a little quiet here. It really is. And a reason why, Oregon has not actually started school yet. They don't start for like another 10 days or something like that. So I was surprised when we rolled into town last night. We did our live shot over on campus, and it was actually really, really quiet. And so we went out and grabbed a bite to eat afterwards, and we're like, what's going on? And they said nothing because nobody's in school yet. So it is a little quiet, but I expect Austin State to be rocking on Saturday, though, man.
And it sure sounds like Boise State's going to have a nice contingent of fans going over too.
Yeah, I think that, this game alone is something that people have been looking forward to. But when you combined it with, 56 points in the season opener, a school record 267 yards by Ashton Genty, the Heisman hopeful, I think that fans are just that much more excited about it. And man, I said this a couple of weeks ago, BJ. I was like, I'm not trying to tell anybody how to spend their money, but Ashton Genty is one of those talents that I would buy season tickets this year just to watch him 6 times inside Albertson Stadium. Well, I guess you could include an 8-hour drive to Eugene as a bonus 7th game that doesn't take too much effort.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We've said this all week, and the fact that it's now 30 hours away or whatever it is, I'm not sure I can remember a single matchup, one player against another team that I've been more excited to see. And obviously, this is a team game, and obviously Boise State's got a lot they got to do to win this game. But just to see what kind of numbers Ashton Genty can put up against this Oregon defense, I mean, he kind of emerged on the national stage, made his appearance, his debut, I guess, last week. If he were to back it up in any kind of similar way, I mean, even half the yards at 260, if he can go for 130, 140, a couple of touchdowns, like he has a chance to really solidify himself as a household national name. But I'm very curious to see what Ashton Genty can do to try to back up what he did the other day.
I think we all are, because it's going to be a different task against this Oregon defense. And, I understand that they did not play particularly well in the season opener against Idaho, and I am taking nothing away from Idaho, because I think the one thing we all learned from the Vandals is that if you show up in Eugene and you play harder than the Ducks, then you're going to have a shot at the end. That being said, that sneak attack, if you will, probably went out the door last week when the Vandals gave the Ducks just about everything they could handle. So, I think that this is going to be an awesome game. And BJ, it's funny because you said, like, I don't remember the last time like a player versus a matchup hype was greater than this. I think the one that I'll give you is probably Leighton Vander Esch in the Vegas Bowl in 2017 versus Justin Herbert and the Oregon Ducks. And, we all know how that one went.
Yeah, no doubt. Thanks to Boise State, by the way, for sending some clips over here of the Ashton Genty touchdown. So the highlights are courtesy of Boise State. But, I mean, him, Sire Gaines, I don't know what we're expecting from Breezy Dubar if he's going to get back out there, Jay. But, I mean, again, I know rushing for 371 yards or whatever it was is going to be a tall task against Oregon. But, I mean, certainly when you have that kind of running game that you hope to have again on the road, use a little clock, try to control the game a little bit, run the football, like, the recipe and the pieces potentially are there with this running game for Boise State to at least hang around.
I agree with you, man. Like I think so. It's just a matter of how much can Boise State control the clock in this game and all of that stuff. And I think then the more that you keep Dylan Gabriel on the sideline, the better that bodes for Boise State, in my opinion, and probably anybody's opinion for that matter.
Yeah, and I've got, I know you do as well, but I mean, I've got a package put together for my pregame show of just guys talking all about Dylan Gabriel, and it's, 5-6 minutes long because everyone's got a lot to say about how good he is. And we saw him in 2021 down there at UCF, and Boise State did a pretty good job containing him for a good chunk of the game, and then he kind of went crazy there in the second half, and in particular, like the fourth quarter. And so I'm very curious to see, but again, everyone wants to talk about the 24 points they put up, Jay, against Idaho. He was like 41 of 48 or whatever it was. He only had, when you almost throw 50 passes and you have like 8 or 9 incompletions, I mean, I think it was 83 point something percent completion percentage. I mean, he put up some crazy numbers, and whether he's dinking or dunking, whether he's throwing it deep, like, I mean, Oregon will take the 6, 7, 8 yard completions all day. And then, oh, by the way, the corners get it, the receivers contained. He can take off and run as well. I mean, in terms of quarterbacks Boise State has faced in the last several years, and I know there's been a lot of good ones, but he's certainly going to be up there in terms of the last several years, the best quarterbacks Boise State's faced.
I mean, they've already faced him, BJ, and Dylan Gabriel has already beaten them. And it's funny. I'm trying to flash back, man. How many quarterbacks have beaten the Broncos twice in their career? I think the only guy that just immediately stands out to me is the Fresno State QB from a few years ago when he got the Broncos in the Mountain West Conference Championship game due, I believe. So it just doesn't happen very often where somebody has the opportunity to do this to Boise State. So on the flip side of that, the Broncos are trying to stay undefeated. I personally am really curious to see how they approach Dylan Gabriel, because with all of his experience, whatever the Broncos throw at him, he's probably seen multiple times throughout his six-year NFL or college football career, right? So, do they bring pressure? Do they sit back and let him pick them apart? Like, I'm just really curious about that. Boise State, when they brought numbers last week, they were actually pretty successful against French, and when they sat back and didn't apply pressure, they were a little more susceptible to allowing yards on defense. So I'm just really curious on how that chess match is going to go.
And I know our man Nathan Carroll, I think we mentioned this Tuesday, had some numbers in terms of the pass rushing. I mean, Andrew Simpson didn't even rush a third of the pass attempts. You got to expect that Andrew Simpson's really going to be a big factor in this game in terms of getting him off the edge, rushing the passer more. I don't know if you saw the clip on this was yesterday. Dan Lanning did kind of a final update similar to Spencer Danielson. And the first question was about Ahmed Hassanin, and he said him and 10. I mean, he made sure to point out Andrew Simpson as well. And so they're very aware of what he can do. But I do think that, trying to disrupt Gabriel and rush the passer in this game is going to be super important. And if somebody wants to tell us in the chat who was the quarterback from Fresno, I'm trying to remember who it was. And you might be right, because I remember Johnny talking about
McMarion or something, right?
Man. That guy beat him twice. Oh, that would be.
I believe so.
Who it was, and that might be the only one. We were thinking. Johnny, I know, was thinking about this back over the summer, and I forget who they came up with. But only quarterbacks to beat Boise State twice. I'm sure at some point maybe it's happened back in the, whatever. But in the last, Jake Haener. Somebody's saying, was it Jake Haener?
No, it wasn't Haener.
It wasn't him. Yeah, and it wasn't Carr either. Someone's saying Carr. Marcus McMarion. Someone's saying
I think it was Marcus McMarion.
Yep, I think that's what David said.
Yeah.
Let's see. Nate Staley is sitting on our flight from Dallas to Eugene. At least 20 Boise State fans also on this flight.
Nice.
There you go, Nate Staley. Appreciate that.
I real quick, dude. I really do believe.
To give a shout out to Simon Hitt. Where is Simon? He's checking in, watching the show from the work toilet.
Oh wow. Okay, Simon.
Make sure you wipe and wash your hands, Simon. All right. Thanks for checking us out, though.
Okay. All right. Anyways. I want to get back to Andrew Simpson. Yeah, I believe he only rushed the passer like 12 of 47 snaps he was on the field, so about a quarter of the time, and maybe even, right about a quarter of the time. And last year, especially over the last half of last season, he got after the quarterback a lot more than that. And so, there's only so much that you're going to get out of the coaches when it comes to scheme and stuff. They're just not going to give you too much. But I was just kind of curious to see if I just phrased it in any particular way, if Eric Chenander would give me anything with that. And not particularly, but acknowledged how good Andrew is at getting to the quarterback when they use him as a pass rusher. He's so bendy. He's so he's quick, he's bendy, he's nimble. Like he can move like very uniquely. It's just something God gave him, man. So, I'm very, very interested. That's probably when I bring up putting pressure on the quarterback, that is one that's a guy that I'm going to be keeping my eye on. Now, that being said, too, Boise State plays a ton of dime. And so how do you free up Andrew Simpson in order to put pressure on the quarterback when, he's your lone guy in the middle of that defense on a majority of the snaps?
And it's funny, Jay, because you and I were sitting there. By the way, someone is saying, did Air Force have the same quarterback when they beat them 3 years in a row? They might have one of those years.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and look at that.
That's not really what we're talking about with a quarterback beating Boise State twice in a row. But I mean, technically, I guess maybe.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
A multi-year starter at some point, but
yeah.
It's funny because we were sitting there, Jay, and I think it was one of the drives. They had a touchdown drive for Georgia Southern, and you made the point that Boise State had a lot of backups in on this drive, and they went down the field and scored. And yet all we hear from the coaching staff this week is that they need to play the backups more and rotate guys more and do a better job. And it's going to be an interesting dynamic because you want your best players out there. You obviously want to, keep guys fresh. You don't need anybody playing 91 plays in that kind of heat. First game, the conditioning wise, maybe you're not quite there. Maybe you can, you're more apt to play 91 plays in game 2 and beyond. But it is interesting that they want to get these backups in there more. And yet I remember multiple times where the backups were the ones getting beat in the last game.
Yeah. I wonder, BJ, and like I said, their coaches are only going to go so far with this stuff because they don't want to give too much away. And I totally get and respect that. I mean, that's just the way this is. But sometimes I wonder if that means mixing and matching your backups with your starters a little bit better. So you don't get to a point where your whole number 2 defense is in the game, right? Like, so I kind of wonder if that's almost what they mean by that. And, I think there's basically 2 guys that are going to be on the field for almost every defensive snap every week. And that is Ty Benefield and Alexander Tubner. Those guys they're incredibly athletic. They have incredible endurance. And I think everybody else, you want to make sure that you are giving, a little more of a break to. And so I think those are the 2 guys you're going to see a ton of tomorrow. Outside of that, maybe you do try to rotate in, keep some guys a little fresher. Another guy I expect to see at least a little more of is Marco Notriani. And, he was a big piece of this defense last year when he was healthy. And it was like a 5.5, 6 game stretch, but he put up really good numbers over that 5.5, 6 games. So I'm interested to see how much he plays tomorrow because he was on the field for only, I believe, 31 of 91 snaps. I mean, so barely a third of the game, you had your starting middle linebacker on the field. And, one thing with Marco, BJ, is that, and this too, he is incredibly, his football IQ is super high. I mean, his IQ overall is super high, by the way. He's like a 4.0 student, also very good on Mario Kart. But I'm just interested to see, like, when things start to get a little chaotic, is Marco even the guy that can kind of settle them down because he's always in the right spot. He always gets his guys in the right spot. So how does he factor in moving forward?
Well,
especially when they play dime.
They would sure like to see a sack from Ahmed Hassanin, as would all of us, because then you get 91-cent coffee or fountain drink at Jackson's. The Monday after a game when Ahmed Hassanin gets a sack, 91-cent coffee or fountain drink. And Jay, this might be back in play this week. We'll see. Breezy Dubar, you get a hot dog and a soda for $1 if Breezy Dubar gets a touchdown. Make sure you check out the local Jackson's locations. And again, 25 cents from every hot dog sold goes to the collective to help the student athletes at Boise State. The Blue and Orange Store, if you need some new gear, check them out, theblueandorangestore.com. Theblueandorangestore.com. All your Boise State gear online, Boise Town Square Mall, or in the online, again, theblueandorangestore.com. If you're looking for a job, the trucking industry, TCS, transcomservice.com. They can help you with the paperwork, all the overweight permits, everything you need to get into the trucking industry. Check out our friends at transcomservice.com. Taco Bell, they got great food and they're hiring. They give a lot of money to the Boise State student athletes as well. So through the Endowed Scholarship Fund, check out TacoBellWorks.com for more information. We appreciate the SON Management Group, the Nicolason family. Check them out. Go eat at Taco Bell today. TacoBellWorks.com. The fall kickoff sale at Lithia Ford of Boise is going on again. 4 Boise State student football players, 6 student athletes rocking vehicles from Lithia Ford. We mentioned Andrew Simpson, Ahmed Hassanin. They both are rocking vehicles from Lithia Ford of Boise. Jonah Dalmas, Matt Lauder as well. So Lithia Ford of Boise, check them out, LithiaFordBoise.com. Snake River Pool and Spa, thespateam.com. Locations in Twin Falls, Boise, Meridian, Nampa. Been around since 1978, part of the Boise State home team. Whether it's a spa, whether for the back patio, whether it's a pool table for the game room, they can hook you up. Check them out online, thespateam.com. Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. Check them out, shopridleys.com. 13 locations around the state of Idaho, and download that app, the Skip app. Save up to 40% off at the checkout line. Again, Ridley's Family Markets, shopridleys.com. Bauscher Real Estate, Matt Bauscher, number one ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley. We appreciate him, and his team did a tremendous job buying and selling our home. Check them out online at BauscherRealEstate.com. Idaho Central Credit Union, they'll be back next week with the Tyson Degenhart Show. ICCU.com. There's a branch pretty much in every corner, but the easiest is that mobile online e-branch banking in your app and your smartphone. Again, Idaho Central Credit Union. Tyson Degenhart Show returns next week. Check them out, ICCU.com. Our title sponsor is roepaint.com, roepaint.com. Check them out. The best in the business, whether it's the concrete coating for your back patio, for your garage. You looking for, to spruce up the painting in your home as well. They can help you out. Again, check them out online, roepaint.com. And as I said at the beginning of the show, Jay, we'll have the watch party for the Horseshoe Collective and BNN over at Western Proper, the National Bar inside Western Proper, right there on Idaho Street, downtown Boise. You walk in, you turn to the right. We had standing room only last week, so get there early. They have Peacock already installed. They are ready to go, and it's going to be a lot of fun for the watch party. Again, Western Collective, the Horseshoe Gold Nail, $3 Horseshoe Gold Nails. And again, they'll have Tyler Shoemaker there as the away game captain. He's going to jump on live with us as well. So looking forward, Jay, to that. And this was the scene at the watch party after one of the Ashton Genty touchdowns last week. They're fired up there. Look at Kip, Chris Canijo. There's your man Kamale Correa in the house as well. Darren College getting after it. We had a nice crowd there at Western Proper down there downtown at Bar National. So hopefully folks will come on out. And again, it's $3 Horseshoe Gold Nails. 10% of all proceeds, that's the big one, goes to the Horseshoe Collective. And we are raffling off a $50 gift card to help pay for your tab if you show that you subscribe to BNN on YouTube. So pretty easy and going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to that. All right, Jay, we're going to be an abbreviated show. So we got 6-7 minutes left here because you're busy. I'm busy. I got a flight in less than 2 hours and cutting it close as it is. But just the opportunity Boise State has in this game. I mean, I put another kind of package together for tomorrow with these guys. Just, I think 4 players said this is why you come to Boise State. I mean, it's the same kind of wordage, and Spencer said it as well. But it's true, man. Like you look at these names, Georgia Tech. Everybody remembers these games. Georgia and Boise State's already done it against Oregon, but with where they're ranked and the situation and what it would mean for the college football playoff and everything else on the line, like, this would no doubt go into the conversation in one of the biggest regular season wins in Boise State history. And it's just, like I said, it's just for this group, this team, it's an opportunity that they seem to be embracing. And I kind of feel like they're playing with nothing to lose. I still think they can win out and get to the playoff. I don't think anyone expects them to win this game. They're 21-point underdogs. That line keeps going up, by the way. People are putting money on Oregon, expect them to bounce back after the game against Idaho. But for me, like, I don't feel like there's really any, unless you lose 60-0 and just embarrass yourself or whatever, like there's really nothing for Boise State to lose in this game. Keep it kind of close and you're fine. But if you go out and win the game, like all of a sudden the narrative of the season, you jump into probably the top 20 and you're, the talk of the country, and you got Ashton Genty, and you're going for a home game in the playoff, not to, you could win out after this. You're probably a favorite in every game the rest of the season. Like there's so much at stake if you win. I don't think you lose much at all if you lose, unless it's a blowout. But it seems like Boise State's kind of embracing that and that chip on the shoulder. This is why we came here. We all tie our shoes, put our pants on the same way. Let's go see what happens on Saturday. I think that it seems like the focus is in the right spot, and this team's pretty fired up for this opportunity.
I agree. And I mean, we talked, BJ, about like the biggest wins, and you think of, going in onto a neutral field and beating Georgia, and the neutral site field against Va Tech. I mean, this is a true road game, man. So when it comes to that, like one of, if not the biggest potential road victory in program history.
Oregon State won. They were ranked number 8, I think, but that did kind of propel them to where they became. I mean, someone said BYU a couple years ago and they were 10th, but they were paper tigers, I thought. I mean, I don't know, but this would certainly be top 3 or 4.
I mean, I think very easily top 3 or 4. I mean, like I said, I really think you could argue it. And I think for what it means right now for the program, where college football is, like, this is just a massive, massive game for the Boise State football program, not just this team, but this program. If they win this game, the national buzz returns. Boise State probably jumps into the top 15, if not even higher. They'll have a Heisman hopeful that now like might be the Heisman front runner. If they win tomorrow, Ashton Genty is going to do something incredible that helps that be the case. So if all that happens, and then they'll be the front runners to make the college football playoff out of the group of 5. I mean, I agree with you that they don't have anything to lose tomorrow. They're 21-point underdogs, and I get that. At the same time, they have everything to gain, and if they come here and they compete, play their best brand of football, like I said last week, the Vandals showed us if you come in here and you play harder than the Ducks, then you're going to have a chance. And so hopefully Boise State can show up and do that. I was trying to get to this a little bit earlier. Like, people should not be fooled by that outcome. At the same time, last week, this is not a paper giant. This is a really good football team that in the modern era of college football, where you can use money to build your roster, they have used just about as much as anyone in the country. And so, I'm guessing, like, I'm not going to try to speculate too much on what Boise State's making, but I don't know. You'll probably see those guys with what, BJ, collectively a few $100,000 in NIL deals on for the season. I would a million feels way too much. I don't think that Boise State as a team is in that
entire
range.
team. I mean, the reported deal that Mike Prater had for Ashton Genty was $300,000. You throw in the car deals some of these guys have, some of their money. Yeah, I bet you're at $500,000-$600,000 for the whole team.
Yeah. So I mean, like, let's even generously say $1 million. Oregon's probably 15 to 20 times that.
Why isn't Dylan Gabriel himself? Isn't he pushing $2 million or something? I think.
Yeah, Dylan Gabriel is probably making probably about twice what the entire Boise State football roster is making in terms of NIL deals. So that's your perspective in terms of like Power 5 versus Group of 5, or Power 4, whatever the heck it is, versus Group of 5, and it's also perspective on the uphill battle that Boise State has to face tomorrow. And it's no longer, Spencer Danielson's trying to be the unicorn, man. And he's trying to prove that it's not all about money, and that there is still such a thing as a good recruiter and a good developer and somebody that's going to care for your kid as he goes off to play college football. And if they can slay Goliath tomorrow, man, would that be a huge windfall for Boise State and Spencer Danielson.
I got a Tust stat for you, Jay. You may already know this, but I don't know if everybody else does. Do you know the last time Boise State was an underdog of at least of this number? 21, 20, 19, whatever you want to call it. Last time Boise State would have been an underdog of this magnitude.
I'm going back to 2005, but I that's only as far back as I could go. I think it's even further back.
Keep going.
2001.
In 2001, Boise State closed as a 19-point underdog to Lou Holtz in South Carolina on the road in 2001. That's the greatest one over 14.5. So anything over 14.5, you're going to 19 points against Lou Holtz. And then if you want to go back even further, the last time they were a bigger underdog than the 21 they're going to be right now, 1999 against UCLA. They were 27-point underdogs. So
that's the one.
Went back and looked it up. So this is the biggest point spread in 25 years for a Boise State football game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man, there are only so many websites that even archive data that far back. Did you hit your boys up at Circa to find that out?
I got my sources, man.
Yeah, exactly. Nice. I like it.
Yeah, it is. I was curious about that, and I asked around to some odds makers, and Circa helped me out. Yeah, at least in they Circa's only been around 3 years, but they had some people, VSIN and some other spots, and we looked it up. And but by the way, last year when Boise State was the underdog in the point spread, they were 0-5 straight up. So when Boise State was an underdog, and again, this is a little different, 21-point underdog, but they were 0-5 last year straight up as a underdog. But dude, I mean, biggest point spread in 25 years for Boise State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's funny, BJ, that the year-to-year comparison, I usually feel like it's coach speak, but man, I don't really care what happened last year with this team, because this team feels like it's done a 180. They feel completely different. So
Nate Staley says,
I'm not really worried about that.
Ducks fans on this flight are nervous. Was it a little bumpy on the flight, or why would they be nervous right now? I'm not sure what what's going on there. But Jay, I got a minute or two left. The 0-3 against Oregon, or the Oregon being 0-3 against Boise State. Dan Lanning did say, like, yes, the players are aware of that and we're eager to play. Like, so they're at least on the Oregon side using that as some motivation. They've never beaten Boise State. I love you, Boise State fans, but it seems like that's something, Jay, that this fan base really loves to hang on to and brag about. And there's that graphic with the Oregon logo for the 0-3. It just seems like that's been something for a long time around here. It's been a big deal. Everybody remembers the game, obviously with the blunt punch, which was, by the way, 15 years to the day, I think on Tuesday or Wednesday. And then, Kellen going over there. I mean, all the games have been memorable. Kellen winning his first road start. The bowl game, as you mentioned, with Leighton Vander Esch and Kekala Kineo with the pick six and beating Justin Herbert in that game. Like, hopefully it's a classic tomorrow, but the 0-3 thing is certainly a storyline as well.
Yeah, it's an awesome stat. Whatever. You can still be 3-1. Who cares? Like, or 4-0. We'll see tomorrow, kick it off and let these two teams go at it. And hopefully Boise State's ready to show up and play their best brand of football and get the mojo back within Bronco Nation. It's been a little while, BJ, since we've all felt the magic of being, 8, 9-1, 9-0, whatever it might be in November. And it would be really, really fun for this team to feel that because I think the whole town would feel it. This team's so much more open. They show off their energy and their excitement every single day, and Spencer Danielson's the tone setter of that. So it would be such a fun fall if that could somehow happen, and we'll see if it happens tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean again, I don't think many fans are expecting to win. So as long as you keep it somewhat close, I think people still have a positive feeling going into the bye week. And then what I expect them to be favored in every game the rest of the season. Maybe the at UNLV is going to be a tough game. Obviously, They look really impressive. We'll see how they do against that mighty Kansas team next week. I think that overall, like, this is the one game, the one potential hiccup, and then you feel like there's a chance to win a lot of games. But you're right. I mean, just the excitement in this town, what it would do. I mean, you'd have to go into at least the top 20 if you win this game somehow.
At least
underdog. I mean, and you become the national story of college football. I mean, you're talking
would
about.
It might be the most impressive win of the young college football season.
But just think about if Boise State wins this game, then goes undefeated, and you have a win over a top 10 team, and you're undefeated. I mean, they would be hosting. And I'll tell you what, the top 4 conference champions, it's not the Power 4, it's the top 4 ranked conference champions get a first round bye. If Boise State went undefeated and has a win over Oregon, they might be in the top 4, dude. They might be in the top 4 when it's all said and done.
Give me goosebumps there, BJ. 36 hours from now, man. We
give us your final thoughts. your final thoughts before I'll give mine on the pregame show tomorrow. I know you got 9 a.m. tomorrow. Give us the update on when everything's airing. We kind of have dueling digital live shows, and hopefully folks can go back and forth and watch both. But in terms of, you got the morning show, but just your final thoughts on this game, and let us know about the coverage.
Yeah, we'll be live in Eugene tomorrow, 9 to 10 a.m. Mountain Time on Channel 7. And then we come back with that live look from the field, an hour or so before kickoff. And, we'll go for about 40, 45 minutes until the guys leave the field, and then we'll go get ready for kickoff and get this thing underway. So I'm so excited, man. I can't wait for tomorrow because I got a lot of work to do before tomorrow, BJ, but I am very, very excited about tomorrow.
Well, again, sorry, folks, for a little bit shorter show today, but I got a flight to catch. I already am 4 minutes longer than I wanted to be. I think it's a rules, Jay. If I say what time we're ending, even when I say it's a hard rule, there's no way we're ending at the time I say. But I got a flight literally in about 90 minutes. Thankfully, the Boise airport is not the worst one in terms of needing to fly through security. So appreciate you, Jay, and we'll be watching KTVB tonight for all the various. There's no smoke over there, is there?
Actually, there is. It's not nearly as bad as Boise, but there is some smoke over here. I was really surprised when I pulled into town. It's more in the moderate. It doesn't seem like it right now. Kind of asked around. It's just in the moderate range, and it doesn't really seem like there's much of a concern. Not nearly as bad as Boise, where you can barely see down the street, but there is a little bit over here for sure.
Wow. All right. Well, that's something else we got to look at. It's very smoky, Josh says. Well, appreciate you guys for the comments. Make sure you're watching KTVB and all of their newscast live shows tonight. Again, 9 a.m. tomorrow, Channel 7. They'll have the Bronco. Jay, I love you, Jay, but man, during that pregame show for the Chiefs and whoever they were playing last night, the Ravens, I think I saw you and Brady Frederick's promo for the Bronco Roundup pregame about 20 times. I was Man, I love you, but the little spin of the football and standing there with Brady, I was like, all right, come on, Jay, we got you. We got you. They're pumping the show up big time, man. It was smart marketing there. But
I don't plan those, but I will take it.
9 a.m. Well, they started to say they said the only live local pregame show, and I was about to go, hold on a second, and then they go from the blue, and I said, okay, all right, we'll give them that one. They're the only one on the blue, so you can have that one. But tomorrow, we'll both be pregame on the field. Looking forward to that. We'll hear from James Montgomery on our pregame show. Alexander Tubner, I know, is coming up on yours. I had a chance to catch up with him as well, but be going back home. So a lot of fun stuff. Again, 9 a.m. Make sure you check out KT. You said 9, right? KTVB at 9 a.m. for their Bronco Roundup pregame show, and then we'll hit you up about 2 hours before. We'll be 2 hours before kickoff. We'll take you to an hour, then you can watch Jay from an hour up until there, and we'll tag team.
Perfect.
So appreciate you guys. Hopefully not as hot over in Eugene. That was a rough one trying to get back up to the press box by kickoff.
It is hot, but it's not like the strangled death heat where you just can't escape it.
Because I think I'm going back to the golf slacks on this one. I wore shorts last game, but I think I got the golf slacks for this one.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see about that. It's still going to be like 98. So.
Wouldn't hurt me to sweat off a few pounds. All right, Jay, appreciate you, man. We'll see. Good luck with everything today. We'll be watching all the KTVB newscasts. Thank you to all the comments. Thank you to all the questions. Enjoy the game tomorrow, folks. Again, 2 hours before kickoff, we'll be back with the Lithia Ford of Boise pregame show, 6 o'clock Mountain Time. And again, make sure you go check out Western Proper and the National Bar for the watch party tomorrow night. And you can see folks fired up for this game. You want to watch the game, hang out with some Boise State fans, have some fun tomorrow night, go to Western Proper and Bar National. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a great rest of your Friday. We'll talk to you from Eugene tomorrow. Bronco Nation News Live here at BroncoNationNews.com.